Okay, how about that? Wow, OBS update is just something else. It looks like it has been fixed. Man, it's just been one thing. I think I need to do more of a test ahead of time before live stream because it seems like every live stream, every time we do like any type of update, um, everything is just yeah, it just fails. I think it's something I'm gonna have to maybe do what Totally Normal just said, just kind of not do it at all. There we go. I had to fix the camera there. It was a little too. All right, there we go. So we're gonna restart that. How's everyone doing? Let's go ahead and go through the chat roll call. Orion, how's it going? Fighting MSA, what's going on there, buddy? Chris, welcome in. Lidlock, old man, welcome in, old man. Totally normal, doing some barbecue action. Looks like. Mike C, welcome in. Kelly, how's it going? Orion, and yeah, anybody else I missed, welcome in. I guess first and foremost, wanted to start out with that I apologize for last week's stream having to be so short and me having to go and run real quick. There's a family emergency with a family member that family member's okay. Everything's okay for right now. So that's what happened last week. So thank you for everyone that reached out to me, make sure I was okay. It was just kind of one of those things that just wasn't expected in the middle of the stream. So thanks for being patient. And we got some juicy conversations for today to talk about. I don't know if you guys would find it juicy, but I don't know, it's not really juicy, but I figured it's the day after Valentine's Day. So, well, everyone's kind of got love in the air, as I'm joking aroundly saying. Not including myself, but some other people that might have some, you know, some love in the air after Valentine's Day. Is I figured let's talk about what happens when people want to, you know, in our or sorry, I guess my situation or maybe similar situations to some of our subscribers of being a disabled individual while receiving Medicaid and Medicare, but wanting to get married. And what about marriage and how all that works with benefits, losing benefits, etc. So I figured we call it the, when love and benefits collide, the Medicaid-Medicare mashup. That does sound like a really good little title. Something just to kind of, I don't know, it's something that came up on actually a YouTube video that I was watching. They were talking about, it was actually from Cole and Charisma on YouTube, which I know a lot of you people know or follow them or watch their videos. And they were talking about how when they got married, the first time when they got married, they didn't do it legally when they lived. I think they're in, don't quote me on this, but I believe they're in Virginia, somewhere like that is where they were at the time when they first got married. They were talking about how they actually never got married legally on paper because he was going to lose Medicaid and Medicare benefits. So that kind of got me thinking about this. And I'm actually really glad that this came up because I researched a lot of this before coming onto the stream today. And I found out a really big thing that affects me personally on one of the Social Security disability things that I'm on, which we'll get into more details, that really I was unaware of. As many of you know, I've been talking about, the possibility of going back to work and figuring it out with voc rehab and all that fun stuff. And I'm glad I did some research today about this, which I didn't think would have anything to do with it, marriage and a disability. I didn't think, well, that's not going to have anything to do with what I'm needing to do, go back to work, but it does. So, yeah. So we're going to talk about this stuff today, dive into it. I'm going to start out with I guess we'll call it the normal saying here in the beginning that this is have all this conversation come from me is going to be in my opinion only, not associated with anyone I may work for or work with in the future, past or present, whether it be a nonprofit or anything like that. This is my opinion, not an opinion of that organization or a company. There we go. There's a little disclaimer. Got to throw that in there. Got to, CYA, as they say. Welcome in, Nabil. Did I say that right? Probably Nabil. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome in, sir. Oh, congrats. That's awesome. That's cool. You need a crew like Dan. Yes. Oh, the hair. Yeah, look at that. Remember that? I think we started with that about at the last live stream, right? My hair was like, went and got that, quick clean shave done at the barber, and the thing is just, yeah, it's on point. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Thank you, Greg, for that. I like to try to keep it, keep it looking good for the videos. Let's see. Let me get caught up here in chat. I feel like I'm kind of missing a little bit of things here. Yeah, Kelly, I just saw your thing there. You should start doing streams. Nobody's taking Fridays yet, right? I think you gotta have to kind of go like, all right, what people do we follow that does YouTube that doesn't have a live stream? You gotta pick one. But yeah, do some juicy conversation. What else am I here in chat? The marriage wasn't legal because of Medicaid. Yeah, exactly, due to Medicaid regulation and even when I'm finding out even possible Medicare regulations too, which we're going to get into. Acceleration is kind of like a gas pedal and gets stuck in my car. My first thought obviously hit the power switch, and then I thought if the switch doesn't work, button put the power switch on it. Wait, did something happen? Did I miss something with Oh, okay, sorry. I missed the top part. I just thought of a conversation starter I'd like everyone's opinion on. Would you say that it'd be the best thing to do is if you suddenly find your turn to sudden uncontrolled? Oh, yes, I would say turn it on and off again for sure. Hopefully that didn't happen to you. Yeah, I mean, if you're able to reach down and unplug the joystick while it's like cruising down like full speed, for sure unplug it. But just know that on certain power chairs, if you're going full speed and you turn off the power, there's no idea knowing how strong your brakes are going to be. They might, I mean, they're not going to lock up super hard, but enough to where if you're not wearing a seatbelt or something, that could be an issue. Or if you're downhill, it may tip forward. Yeah, okay, so let me rephrase that. Totally normal is correct. It's the power switch is the best option because that will slow the child, I think, down with the brake slowly. But pulling the actual cable would be like putting on an e-brake and toss yourself out. So, Mike C, Big Brother use any excuse to reduce or remove your benefits. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, you have some chairs, so the emergency stop right with a power button, others don't. Oh, okay, so some chairs will have that, yeah. Am I the only one with belts on? Dude, I wear belts and I wear a 4-point harness. So you're not the only one. I promise. I actually wear a seatbelt daily. Like I actually got one on. Yep, I got one on right now. So yeah, you're not like the only one, Greg, that's doing that. I can tell you that. See, I gotta wear it inside. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily not trust myself, but I'm kind of worried about. I don't know. For me, with like if I pass out due to blood pressure stuff like that, I don't know. I feel like it's a constant thing for me to worry about with my blood pressure medication I take that this throws all that stuff off sometimes. So, looks like we got all caught up on chat. Looks like we got everyone's information out about seatbelts and harnesses and things. Yeah, and for me, man, the chest harness has saved my bacon so many times when I'm out in public doing like long hikes at 6 miles an hour. You gotta be able to have control of your body too, and the harness helps with that. I wear the chest one more to keep me from hunching over. Yeah, and that's what you see, like that. See, here's me. It should be like this. Oh, way back here, but the back just hates that. But yeah, wearing that chest thing, it does actually help pull you back and hold your back up against the thing. It's something I should probably do. So thanks for bringing that up. That's something that I should probably be doing. So we're going to kind of jump into this a little bit. We'll kind of jump into basically my personal thing that's going on with it. And then we're going to jump into things after that. Hold on one second. I after last week, I need to have a phone. So in case you heard anything at all about that, perfect, awesome. So yeah, so if you hear my phone dinging in the background, I apologize. That's just being required to have a phone on me now. Last week did not happen. It didn't go well. Anyways, so let's go ahead and let's jump into this. One part that I actually looked into during this research is like, you know, I guess let's kind of talk about it. So let's talk about my personal opinion on this. And this is for me and my personal situation and my personal opinion. So we're all allowed to have different opinions on this. So don't take any offense or anything at all that I say. This is just my opinion on the matter. So for me personally, I'm a big believer in getting married the legal way with documents and all of that. Like I believe in that as far as like that symbolizes the marriage. It's like the legal binding document. Everything with that is great. Like that is huge. Like I'm a believer of that, but I am also on the side of fearful of actually getting married and losing those benefits because legally I got married instead of just going and sure I could go off and get married and basically don't actually do it the legal way and just live with that person or whatever. Um, and that's us, me and that person, my spouse knowing that yes, that we're everything is true and it's all good, but I feel like that the government's taking away to use my belief in it and the belief that I want to have a legal document. I'm not going to be able to have that because I never can, or else I will lose my Medicaid and my Medicare benefits. Um, One of the other reasons, I guess, because we talked about me going back to, a couple times me going back to work, is I signed up with the Social Security disability benefit. I signed up for a secondary benefit called the Disabled Adult Child. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this before, but it's basically an additional benefit that basically allows me to qualify as a disability that began before the age of 22. But if I am a part of this program, which I am not allowed to engage in any substantial gainful activity, SGA, which is basically, I think the current SGA for 2023, I think is $1,200 a month. Somebody can correct me in chat if that's wrong. But because of that, the whole reason why I even signed up for the disabled adult child is what they call it, is that my current Social Security I was getting on my own, since I had barely worked before claiming Social Security, disability, I was only doing, a few $100s a month, which was not enough for me to survive on. So like, well, if I can apply for the disabled adult child benefit, you're then able to claim your father's benefit is kind of the way it works. It's kind of weird. It doesn't affect their benefits at all, but you're able to do that. But it only works for people that had a disability before the age of 22. So it's kind of a weird little strange thing in case if any of you haven't heard about it. So based on some of that information now that I learned is that Social Security has some new rules on disabled adult child people. And when you're on disabled adult child program and you go back to work, you only have a 9-month period to do it. And then you have then a 36-month after that. But during any of that time, you can't go over to SGA, which is $1,200 a month. But what I get from the DAC is more than that. So it's like it doesn't make any sense for it to risk me to lose all of that based on that. So basically, I feel like it just stuck in rock and a hard place because the other thing is my overall cost of care per month, which I know what it is because, Medicaid, they tell me what the cost is and all that, is there's no way I'd be able to get a job and be able to, like, say, if I got a job, lose Medicare, I could still XYZ make a certain amount of money with Medicaid and keep Medicaid, but the amount of money I would lose with Social Security, I don't know if ever to regain it, and I'm not able to get back on the disabled adult child benefits after you have an SGA of over $1,200 for 36 months. You can't go back on it, which I can only then apply for regular Social Security disability, which wouldn't be enough money for me to live on. So it's like, do I take the chance of being able to work for as long as I can, knowing how I have no idea how long I'll be able to, based on my condition getting worse, or am I better off to stay on it? It's a stupid conundrum, and it's annoying. And there shouldn't be, the whole entire thing. There should not be, a marriage benefits. It should not happen. because they combine any of their bank balances greater than $3,000, which is just crazy. It's just mind blowing to me. It's just, yeah, it's just, there you go. So that's my thing that I have going on. Oh, and the only exception to this rule for me for the disabled adult child is if I married somebody else who is also a recipient of the disabled adult child benefits. And then it doesn't count, which makes no sense to me. So, or doesn't, maybe it does count, but it has a way of adjusting something different. I don't know. As is something I was kind of reading about, and I'm like, okay, it's a little bit ridiculous. But, it's just crazy to me that $1,200 or whatever is considered SGA, and it's just crazy to me. So then I kind of went down this whole rabbit hole of looking up income limits and the DAC and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's just think outside the box about this. It's I remember there used to be a thing in school about people talking about common law on marriage, which means, I think it used to be, don't quote me on this, but from what I remember as a kid, common law marriage was something if you live together after 7 years or something, then you'd be considered married in the air quote, the view of this, whatever, the eye of the beholder, the state or the government would, or the state would have considered you living together for XYZ time and become automatically married. So I wanted to look up and well, as of 2021, there's basically 8 states that still have common law marriage. So here's the states in no particular order. This is what I found on the interwebs. There's Alabama, Colorado, Kansas, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Iowa, Montana, and Texas. Now, is there anybody in chat that fits within any of those states? I'd love to talk to you in more details, because it does vary. Every single state completely varies. Oh, I also forgot, Washington, D.C. also recognizes common law marriage, just in case anybody wanted to throw that in there. So I wanted to look up, so I went through and okay, well, let's talk about common law. So I'm well, I'm going to go and I'm going to look up Colorado's common law marriage. Just I picked a state at random, right? So here's the Colorado common law marriage is established by meeting this criteria. The couple must hold themselves out to the public as being married. The couple must have been agreed to be married. The couple must have lived together as spouses. There is no specific time period required for the couple to have lived together, but they must have lived together as spouses and held themselves as married. In addition, both parties must be 18 and not be married to someone else. If these criteria are met, a couple is considered to be a common law marriage and they have the same legal rights and obligations as any other married couple. And in order to end a common law marriage, the couple must obtain a divorce just as they would for a formal marriage, which I thought was interesting. So I'm let's Google on Google to see if I can find, was there any news articles about people losing their benefits due to common law marriage. There was a few articles, not as much as I guess I was expecting there would be, but still enough that it has happened. It's not as common, but it is something that's happened before, and I found that very interesting. Now, before I go down any more of my talking, I should probably get caught up on chat. We got a lot to catch up here. My friend is married, but he's not legally married because his wife is also his caregiver. And in the state that I live in, apparently, if they legally get married, she can no longer be paid. And that's another thing that Rolling Thunder just brought up is, in that certain situation, she will no longer be able to be paid to help take care of him. And if that's, what she's able to do because she can't go out and make enough money at the job in order to pay for a caregiver privately for him, that's something that they have to do. Kara Dever, apparently, so they are married, but they're not legally married. He calls her his wife, and she calls him her husband, but I don't believe he wears a ring. Okay. Greg saying, my state allows my wife and my kids to get paid as caregivers. And that's another thing, is per every state that Greg Orion just brought up there, is that per every Medicaid rules, it varies of either your wife or kids, or your kids are able to be paid as caregivers. In the state of Oregon, family members can be paid, but I don't know if a wife could be paid in the state of Oregon. That I don't know. I know family members can. but that's about as far as I know as far as that goes. Would you believe that the messaged me yesterday? No, Kelly. I'm not surprised. I mean, people could be, messaging. There are only 8 states that pay spouses to be caregivers. Ah, okay. And Oregon is one. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Um, I know Jacob had a hell of a time when he was married for a while. Getting back on services was a nightmare. Yeah, and that's just like, it's just crazy. We need people with large audiences like Cole and Shane to start beating this drum about paid spouses. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Sorry for breaking your brain. Totally normal. That was not intentional for today, but figure we gotta break that. Kentucky is one that pays the wife and kids. There are some hoops as with any government. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, any government, Medicaid or Medicare, there's going to be tons of hoops you're going to have to go through for sure. We can start with California, go state by state until the laws are changed. I don't see why not. Like, Kelly, the more people we can get behind, like, and I did look up and there were a couple like federal bills and individual state bills that were out there trying to get rid of this basically marriage inequality for disabled individuals on Social Security disability, and yeah, things around that. That 7 to 8 years living together is how Tennessee was for a long time, and I'm pretty sure Ohio was as well, which is where I grew up. So I figured that maybe it was still a thing, but that's not. Chris said he was able to keep his Medicare while working without any issue. Just had to pay premiums myself. Yeah, and I think you're able to keep the Medicare itself, like the insurance. I read something you can like keep the insurance up to a certain length of time, but once your SGA goes over a certain amount, you automatically lose your Social Security disability benefits. Chris, were you doing Social Security disability at the time? Just curious. I spoke with the Medicaid policymaker in Alaska. She told me that Alaska, your sponsor legally obligated to support you. It's the basis of the no pay policy. Interesting. That's very interesting, Kelly. Very interesting. Dude, that's up to you. You should do a video about that. It'd be an interesting conversation for sure. Wife squatters' rights. Oh, jeez. One thing that I think is kind of interesting is to anybody that has an iPhone, some states are now allowing digital IDs, meaning you still have your physical ID. Yes, that's so true. Which, which reminds me that I got a letter in the mail that my ID was expired, and they wouldn't renew my disabled parking pass. Whoops! I gotta deal with that. That's what that just reminded me of. So I gotta get that. Remind me in next week and ask me if I got that done because I probably will forget again. It's not like I'm driving, so it's not exactly top priority, but that's actually really cool though to be able to have it your own digital copy of your ID card on your iPhone. I think that'd be more convenient, less stuff in my wallet. Ah, okay, Chris. So you did lose disability pay. Gotcha. And that's the thing. It's like if sure you're able to keep Medicare and be able to pay. So maybe like the insurance thing is not so much big of the loss as it is like the disability part of it. Depending on the state, says Kelly, you can keep a digital copy of your ID on your phone. Oh, okay. So Colorado, Maryland, Arizona. Okay. Kelly, oh, sorry, that was Rolling Thunder, not Kelly. Sorry. And now Kelly is saying, federally, Medicaid has guidelines that each state must follow in creating their Medicaid regulations unless they request an exception. Well, yeah, I mean, there are federally, Medicaid, but they do vary quite a bit, though, I feel like, per state. As far as Medicaid benefits, like hours, what you qualify for, I mean, it's all different. Living in 4 different states, I can tell you the state I lived in, the benefits have been wildly different. For example, at one point in time when I lived in Washington State, I was getting 100 hours. Was it 100 hours a week, I think? No, 100 hours every 2 weeks, I think, right? And then when I moved to Arizona, that went down to uh, 36 every 2 weeks. So yeah, it's definitely true that each one has federally mandated guidelines they have to follow, but I don't feel like that's something that always, happens. But I think maybe you're putting those guidelines in air quotes is what I'm kind of guessing there. A digital copy of your phone is great till you go to a doctor or hospital that wants to scan you. That's true. That's true. I mean, until hospitals and other places start accepting that as being a form of ID, I guess you could say. So, out of anybody here in chat, is there anybody here in chat that I know Chris has gone, did the whole thing? And actually, so Chris, are you currently, did you re-enroll back into disability? And was it difficult for you to get back on? And is there anybody else that, was on Social Security disability, went back to work for a while, got lost Social Security disability, and then was it difficult for anybody to get back on? That's my question I have for anyone in chat. In the state that I live in, you're required to have 2 license plates on the back and on the front. However, you do not have the option to. That's interesting. They charge you more for just if you want to run a single plate and be like, I'm the cool guy with 1 plate. Man, I remember that was a big deal up in Washington State when I lived there. If you got pulled over not having your front plate on, ooh, man, not a good time. Ryan saying, Greg saying, I would 100% be behind digital copies. Yeah, right? Yeah, digital copies would be great. The federal Medicaid guidelines are similar for all, or the same for all states. The variances between is a state's creation. Yeah, I mean, Arizona is just a crazy state when it comes to their Medicaid program for sure. To do it that way, and you have to have a good reason for it. They didn't come back after. Yeah, I mean, there's so many new cars that don't have front license plate brackets, so a lot of people just didn't. And I didn't have one on my car either because I had a aftermarket bumper, which probably didn't help. But yeah, back in the good old car days, rolling around with no front plate. Used to stick it up in the windshield and waiting for to get myself to get pulled over. Kentucky still has 1 plate. That's sweet, dude. Trying to. They've been slow and stupid. Need to call them again this week. Ah, got it. Well, Chris, I hope that it's from what it's if it's regular Social Security disability, it's much easier to get back on. I know it's a pain, but I do know it is possible. So, just stay up on it, dudes. Keep calling them. I know it really sucks. Oh, you're getting provisional until October and then it ended? That's crazy. Kelly saying that any state could request an exception to federal Medicaid guidelines. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I'm sure there could be certain things that I mean, I don't remember researching a whole lot of it when I lived in Arizona, but I'm sure there's definitely some guideline stuff that was in there. So one of the things that I found out about when I moved here to the state of Oregon, and kind of really diving into the Portland area spinal cord injury community, and really getting to be friends with a lot of people there and finding out about their, what kind of things that they've had to go through, their benefits. I did find out that there was, a lot of things going on where a lot of the people that were married prior to a spinal cord injury ended up getting divorced in order for them to gain access to healthcare and benefits, which I thought was kind of, interesting. It said between 2009 and 2019, nearly 1.1 million Americans with disabilities got divorced, compared to 593,000 who got married. Roughly twice as many people with disabilities got divorced than married, which I thought was a very interesting stat. I was like, okay. Um, and I just thought about that for a minute. I'm like, well, I think if the individual that has a spinal cord injury requires the huge amount of assistance and um, needs their married spouse to be able to be there for them. The married spouse either has to either a have a job that they're married, the spouse that they're married to would have to have a job that they can pay for a caregiver to come into the home privately, which is going to be $30 an hour, or they're going to have to be in a state where they can be paid as a caregiver to help take care of their spouse, and that would be what their income would be. I feel like it has to be like either got to have a really good job that they can afford to pay out of pocket costs for their care. And it also depends on that, like I said, everyone, and it also depends on a level of spinal cord injury and their abilities and what they're able to do and not do. And I feel like it's the same thing with somebody, in my situation, based on if you think about, with my disease is progressive. It's going to get, worse and worse over time. I'll get it and I'll message you in a bit. Thanks. Sorry about that. Yeah, and I think that I think that there's certain situations and certain disabilities, if you're able to make it, it's if anybody's able to financially make it and you have your disability is allowing you to be able to still work and your spouse can still work, you can make that work. Totally, like getting a divorce or to gain access to healthcare benefits is not for everyone, and it's not an easy thing to do. But in certain situations, I feel like it would be required, especially even at least in my own personal situation, it would be required. That if I never got on Social Security disability or anything when I was younger and I got married, I would have to, just because the overall cost of my care is something that I would never be able to afford on my own by myself, or even with a spouse. Like, it just would not be, unless they're some engineer making over 6 figures a year, maybe it'd be doable. But other than that, like, it's not possible. But I definitely if any spouse people that are married and they have a new spinal cord injury or something happens and they're able to stay working and they can make things work, like, yeah, for sure, like, definitely the way to go, and something that I think is important to be able to do. But in certain situations, it's just not feasible. Let me get caught up here on chat. They say my claim is approved for Social Security, but waiting for some internal group to finalize it. As long as it gets sent off to Texas, Chris, you should be in good shape. You don't want your stuff going to Texas. That's all I'll say. I won't say any more than that. We had a tough choice back in 2009 to stay married and accept a rough time financially, or get divorced. We married 31 years. Yeah. Great. Congrats on that. 31 years, man. That's awesome. And it is a very tough decision. It's a personal, choice in between, a spouse and their significant other, and figuring out what is the best option for them. And it just depends on the situation. Or maybe they're able to stay that way for a while, and then they get older, they have to change. It just all depends. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I've actually gotten offers from different group homes, especially some that keep telling me I should come live with them. And for me personally, because I'm able to take care of myself, I find that kind of offensive, because at least my situation's like, they're always assuming. Yeah, that's true, Roy. There's always that, automatic assumption that, like, hey, you're not, they see, Will, what you're saying, Will, is that see you in a power chair, like, oh, well, they obviously need to be in a place because, they can't take care of themselves, and they make that assumption. And that's not the case. As you know, I mean, you're able to. Thought it'd be better to show the kids it's better to have your own ethics to push through the rough times to give them the system that wasn't right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're able to, that's so awesome, Greg, that you were able to push through and be able to do that, That's awesome, dude. Greg is also saying, I have no problem with others living a good divorce. Everyone has their own stories and paths. Yeah, absolutely. We all have our own paths, our own decisions and stories, and it all, is a variable and stuff. So, for sure. Um, let's see. Yeah, this is a good conversation. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of bring this up and talk to people about it. And like I said, I found out some information about the program that I'm on with Social Security disability that I didn't even look into. Um, oh no. Okay. Hope everything's okay. They're totally normal. That's no good. Hopefully everything is okie dokie there. We're supposed to get some pretty cold temperatures here tonight. It's supposed to be down into 20s. Especially out where totally normal is, it's going to be a lot colder compared to where I am. I forget how many, I think we're like 40 miles apart, I believe, somewhere around there. And there's quite a big, I think mine's like 27, and his going to be down like in 20 degrees. So I'm hoping everything is okie dokie over there. Does anybody else have any other thoughts or anything at all about marriage and the penalties and like anyone's thoughts on that? Just curious if anybody else has any other opinions on it. So there was back in 2021, um, the Supplemental Security Income Restoration Act was introduced into the U.S. House of Representatives by a few different Arizona representatives, Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio. The bill would modernize SSI benefit programs and improve the lives, blah, blah, blah. SSI Restoration Act would eliminate the disability marriage penalty by setting the SSI couple benefit rate to 2 times the individual rate. It would increase the asset cap for individuals from 2,000 to 10,000, and for couples 3,000 to 20,000. It would increase the benefit rate to match the federal poverty line and adjust for inflation, which don't even get me started on inflation. Allow people with disabilities to work and earn up to $416 per month without their SSI being reduced on their income, which that's just a crazy low number. But that obviously never passed through, but that was something that did get tried through at the federal level. So there has been some times where that's been at least trying to make that happen, which I think is interesting. All right, Kelly. I gotta read your message here first. I stayed married and broken well for 7 years. I believe it added stress and money problems contributed to our troubles in the divorce. And dinner. All right, dude. Yeah, take care, man. Have a good dinner. Without Medicare, I wouldn't have been able to afford working part time. Yeah, that's something that Chris you bring up there too about working part time. That's something that I've thought about. Even if it's just part time, so I'm not losing my benefits, but uh, it's like I'm better off to stay, poor and live, you know, Social Security check in order to survive, and that's it. It's it's tough. If I'm 100% honest, I'm looking for a girlfriend right now, and nothing against anybody with disability, but I'm trying. Does not have to be disability because it does not have to be because it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I mean I think there's a lot of us that are out there looking for some people right now, Will, and and you're right. You want to find somebody that basically sees you for you and doesn't look at the disability. Um, yeah, I think that's an important thing for all of us. Anybody to be in a relationship with somebody or a significant other that sees you for you. That's what matters. So you want to know what I was thinking about today? Something you guys are gonna kind of laugh about is I was thinking about today. I'm like, wow, I wonder what probably people are thinking when they see that thumbnail image. In chat, give me your guys' opinion of what you guys thought about the the thumbnail. I'm just curious. What's everyone's opinion on it? Nabil's saying that oh, you're talking about okay. Going through the same situation right now, being married 20 years, been trying to get a job, but not really planning out. So, or not really. Oh, I know what you mean. Not planning out, but it's not it's not panning out. You talked about doing a legal separation. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. Sometimes you have to get the the extra assistance, and it is what it is. I mean, circumstances are can it's just it's beyond you know what you're able to do, and it's okay. All right, just in case of any of you in chat missed it or didn't see a large version of it. There's a nice big version of it right there. I know chat's over it, but at least you can kind of see. And that was done by what program did I use for that? That was done by DALI 2. Um, the DALE 2 artificial intelligence. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. I put in something about like exploding heart. Exploding heart. Getting in a crash with like money, or yeah, with a dollar sign, and that's what it came up with. So I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to go ahead and use AI to be able to make that. So yeah. Um, a spider got into the engine bay smoke sensor. It's photodiode based. Kind of funny. Oh my gosh. I'm glad to hear everything's okay. Totally normal. That's scary. Nothing like having a smoke detector go off. Jeez, glad to hear everything's fine. So in in the house that I'm at, there is one section of the house where it has to be, I swear, it's got to be like 20-foot ceiling, and we always get spiders that get in there and set the smoke detector off. It'll be like 3 in the morning, like randomly, and it's always at 3 a.m. So we're always keeping an eye on like spider webs and stuff out there and kind of um, clearing off cobwebs because I'm worried about the smoke detector going off at 3 a.m. again. It's because you can't reach it. There's been times where actually it would never shut off, and we had to call like the non-emergency fire department line and have them come out to our house at like 3 a.m. to come and get the ladder tall enough to take it down and turn it off. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been up at 3 a.m. because there's a smoke detector in that room due to spiders. So if anybody has high ceilings, just be prepared to have your smoke detector go off at some point in time, especially if the newer modern smoke detectors. I mean, because those are only like a year old smoke detectors, and they're super sensitive to spiders. At least around here in Oregon, which we have a lot of spiders. It's a pretty common thing. Hey, White Raven, welcome in, sir. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty cool little thing. I don't know. I'm still a pretty good fan of AI art. The panel started screeching and said engine bay triggered it. Was confused. Stupid spiders. Dude, I could see how confused you'd be. Like, wait, especially was the engine not even running? See, that'd be even more confusing. Yeah, White Raven, you're not gonna have any spiders where you're at, bro. It's cold. Actually, your outdoor temperature is probably the same as ours tonight, but still, I don't think cold really has to do. It just has to be you're in an area that just doesn't have it, which is good. Um, let's see. Yeah, hasn't been running over a week. Yeah, that's why I'd be like, why are you getting the smoke alarm from your engine bay? That's crazy. And that's another thing that we could even talk about there, Orion. That Ryan is bringing up in chat is the cost of medication. I mean, there's depending on, your disability or injury or anything at all, there's certain medications that some of us need, and some of those medications are extremely expensive, like outrageously expensive. And without having, you know, dual coverage insurance or any insurance at all, it could really be a big, make a big deal. Um, and that kind of reminds me too about insurance. I'm kind of going down another rabbit hole of insurance. This all has to do with, this all circles back into going back to work, marriage. I mean, it's all related in a way that when it comes to insurance for somebody, at least within my situation, and maybe things have changed a little bit more with insurance companies. I haven't like researched this, so I have no idea if this is still a common thing. But the most common things, I got you, White Raven. That's totally approved. It was blocking that message for a minute, but I got you. What was I telling you? Oh, so for me, if I were to say, let's say I like got the full-time job, I'm making XYZ a month, I'm off of Medicare, I'm off of Medicaid, like or even Medicare by itself, and I'm still on Medicaid because I have a back to work exception, whatever. So I'm doing that. It's only good for 2 years. So I'm doing that for a little bit. And then, and my employer offered insurance, I could then try to sign up for that insurance, but I'd probably most likely be denied. And I don't know if this is still the case. Like I said, I haven't actually researched this, so I have no idea if it's still the case. But from what I remember when I was younger, is I'm labeled as pre-existing condition because they consider my neurological disorder that I was born with it. So because of that, I was basically always told, and this is when I was younger. Like I said, I have no idea if this is still true, that I would be uninsurable if I were ever to let my insurance lapse before I was on state services or Medicare. I have no idea if that's completely true at all, if that's still a thing, but I have a feeling it still is. And somebody can correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but I'm very sure it's still a real thing. And as White Raven just said, it is complete bullshit. And I'm going to have to say it. I don't normally curse on stream, but that is complete BS. The whole entire thing is crap. And that's something that when I was younger, in my early 20s, that's something that my parents always made sure that I stayed on their insurance and never let lapse, because before I ended up getting on Medicaid or Medicare, because without that pre-existing condition, it'd be like, oh, sorry, you got pre-existing, and you'd be uninsurable, which is just crazy. It's insane to me. So that's my little rant about pre-existing conditions. I'm sure chat, I'll get caught up here on chat. I'm sure there's some other opinions on that as well. We have spiders in the summer, but they tend to stay outside. Well, that's good, White Raven. I'm glad they're not inside, buddy. That's. I mean, not that you have a laser now, so I mean, technically, you're a lot safer than some of us. I have also had some girls tell me they would never date me because I have a disability they can't stand. Will, any gal that ever says that to you or anything like that is definitely somebody you never would ever want to be with anyway. So that's insane, dude. People are horrible. People are just mean. They just wake up in the morning just to choose to be a blank head. Yep, I agree. That's why I approved that message. I'm rycandoit, and I approve White Raven's message. We should make a little clip of that. That'd be pretty funny. Will, it never hurts to ask anyone. All women are a no until you ask. Once they say no, just move on. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, Orion, you gotta like, dude, you just gotta keep like asking those gals. Like, trust me, there will be that one gal that says yes. I don't have that yes gal at the moment, but back in my years ago, yeah, not a problem at all. That's the way to do it. You got to keep hitting them hard. Good advice, Orion. All the pre-existing conditions should be illegal. It says White Raven. I think the ACA banned doing that. Chris, remind me of the ACA, the acronym. A little clarity on that. I think I know what the ACA. Right. It's probably something with insurance, and I'm just not thinking about. It's probably like something really obvious. Orion saying a yes. So I'm thinking you're saying yes to the pre-existing conditions. What I'm going with on that one. Roving laser spider abatement robots. See, I totally White Raven totally built that. Killing God would be a new level of chaos. Yeah, like that's all I can tell you is like carpet fires. Like Ravens, the first thing that popped in my mind. Little like burned black spots all over carpet. I get the feeling a certain judge is gonna ask me out to coffee later next week. Oh, really? Totally normal. We need some normal and judges, right? I feel like we need some more details on this. It's great. Oh, is it Fat Tuesday too? Oh man, I think it might be a little bit more than coffee. It's on Fat Tuesday. You're not sure what to do about that. You just do it, man. I mean, there's nothing else to it. I know what you mean, though. In all seriousness, though, yeah, it's you don't want there to be a conflict of interest and stuff. I guess just get through the court first and then see where it goes. That's the best advice I got for you. Is just get the court stuff dealt with, and then yeah, and you'll be good to go from there. Oh man. Oh, the ACA. Sorry, I read that word. Oh, the Affordable Care Act. Okay. Wow, Greg, that's crazy. Your monthly med went from 9 to 20. That's insane. That's crazy. That's a business move. You got protection. I mean, he's got a point. White Raven has a point. Like, you get that going on. You at least you got, it's a business move. And honestly, and any of you in chat can tell me this is not true, but I am totally 100% a firm believer. It's about who you know, and it's always important to do network in your life, whether it be online and this awesome disability community that we have online, and even those that are on here that aren't disabled that are part of our community. Like just having a sense of community is just so important. And I think networking is like one of the best things that we have available to us, and we should all try to take advantage of that if we're able to. I know it's not for everyone based on, their comfort levels and things, and that's totally okay, but definitely a firm believer at networking. I think that's where it's at. And it's a great way to meet ladies. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Not that anyone was wondering, but, just in case. I'm not trying to be a consistent rant about my love life or lack thereof, so sometimes I wish I was less lost, which on Valentine's Day. Yeah, dude, you don't have to explain yourself at all, Will. I mean, Valentine's Day was difficult for a lot of people, able-bodied, disabled. It's a complicated, ridiculous time of year, so it's all good, dude. That's not. I don't feel like you're ranting about love life, but maybe you should do like a whole like YouTube video about it, though. Will, I think you'd be good at it. Okay, right, Raven. That's a little bit random into like, into random print. Like you ordered McNuggets yesterday. Like, is that like for dinner tonight? Like, what's going on with the McNuggets? That's what I want to know. Like, what's happening with that? I'm just curious because I was like, okay, we have McNuggets are in the house. That's an insane increase. Wonder how much it was greed. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I do know like pharmaceutical companies obviously control a lot of the medications and pricing on it. Not saying the ACA definitely the Obamacare didn't have any effect on it at all, right? But I'm curious if there was a big fluctuation from manufacturer stuff at all. Oh, your Valentine's Day was your McNuggets. Got it. I think that's something when I eventually get up to my subscriber count to have fun things in chat. I think there needs to be like a McDonald's recovery badge for those that are in McDonald's recovery. I like that idea. Thank you for that. Yeah, right? Who's his sponsor? I was waiting for somebody to come in and say that. Who's his sponsor? Oh, Wanzo. Wanzo's the sponsor. That's for sure. If it would be anybody, I'd probably say Wanzo. Oh, White Raven. Okay, it could be White Raven. That's fine. That's great. But no, for sure. I'm gonna have like a recovering McDonald's badge for people a certain subscriber level. Oh yeah, or Wanzo. See, yeah, I figured everyone get a kick out of Wanzo. Come on now. All right, well let me tell you about my Valentine's Day. It's kind of funny. So I'm like, you want to know what? It's Valentine's Day. I'm gonna really put myself out there. I'm gonna see if there's any like events to go to. So I'm like, Facebook events, looking on Instagram, check out local businesses, what they have going on, and there was a local brewery that was doing a Valentine's Day event, and it looked really cool. And like, oh, I'm gonna get up in the morning. It was like from like I don't know, like early morning to like 10 or something. They were having breakfast sandwiches, like discount on 6 packs. Like, oh, it sounds like a lot of fun. Like, whatever. It's still early to drink, but at least I got food. I wasn't gonna go there to drink at all. It's just to hang out, whatever. So I go there. Well, it turns out it was also some sort of like local radio station thing as well. So it had like the parking lot was full. It was like a line out the door. They had like to have like hired security to be like working outside the door. I'm like, all this for a breakfast sandwich? I get through like hired security? Like this is ridiculous. It's Valentine's Day. I don't have to go through hired security. And this morning I skipped like my normal morning routine. I got like right out of bed and hopped in the car, like running around doing errands like at 7:30 in the morning. So I wasn't. I kind of threw my whole routine off. So I'm like, whatever. So that didn't work. So I ended up going to Starbucks and getting that breakfast burrito. It was the worst $6.50 I have ever spent on a sandwich. I will never buy a Starbucks breakfast sandwich again, ever. It was terrible. It was like a little burrito thing. It was like literally two little tiny pieces of bacon. Like it was terrible. It was yeah, it was a horrible sandwich or burrito thing. So what else did I do? Oh, and then I needed to pick up some medical grade marijuana lotion that I use for pain stuff sometimes because I was completely out of a lotion, so I had to go pick that up. And I got gas. What else did I do today? And I came home, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll take myself out to lunch. I was like, there's no breakfast sandwich bar. Maybe I'll just go to afternoon, grab a pint and a pizza, and just hang out and just relax for an afternoon for an hour before my caregiver had to leave. And yep, nope, that didn't happen. My body decided to have other plans, and yeah, so I'll just keep it as that. And the day didn't quite go as well. And I was hoping to do the same thing today, like go out, maybe have a nice, enjoyable lunch. I haven't been out to lunch in forever, and I thought, well, let's take myself out to lunch, but maybe next week. I only have like literally 3 days during the week I can actually take myself out, so it's all good. But that was Valentine's Day, pretty low key, and let me tell you that Starbucks breakfast burritos, don't go there. It's horrible. It's not worth it. So that's my little Valentine's Day story. That's all I got for you. Nothing exciting. So, and I apologize for anyone that came into stream thinking there's like some new gal and gonna be talking about the dating and that's when that happens, you guys will know. We'll do a whole entire episode dedicated just to going on dates and stories about going on dates. So don't you worry. That's coming soon. Just gotta get those dates first. It's kind of important. Will saying breakfast sandwich bar, great way to meet someone. Yeah, for sure. Free food does cause mayhem. I agree. Different food, same rule. Never buy an hamburger at a taco shop. Oh yeah, you don't do that. Yeah. You dated a breakfast burrito. It's crazy you had to part ways. Yeah, for sure. I should have gone somewhere else for a breakfast burrito. Starbucks is not the place to go to. If anybody is ever in outside the Phoenix area, and I believe it's considered Gilbert, Arizona, there is a place called the Burrito Shack, and it is literally a shack on the side of the road, and they had some of the most amazing breakfast burritos. So if you're ever in that area, Gilbert, Arizona, go to the Burrito Shack. I don't know if anybody's ever going to go there, but if you're ever in the area, oh, amazing. That's what I was hoping for, was like a Burrito Shack style burrito. Instead, I got disappointed with lack of meats and just overall bleh. So there's that. But yeah, that was my date. Breakfast burrito date. Yes, we do have Dunkin' Donuts. Yep. Is there anything I should be trying from there? Will, is there something I need to know about Dunkin' Donuts that I'm unaware of? That's what I'd like to know. Tell me what's up with the Dunkin'. It's not. It's something that I've just never really been a big fan of. So tell me what's happening. Yeah, I thought we had a couple of Dunkins here. Do we not have Dunkins here? I swear we do. Totally normal. Now I feel like a. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no. Oh my. Wait. We do not have any Dunkin' Donuts in the whole entire state of Oregon. I am wrong. I apologize, Will. We do not. We have Krispy Kreme, Sesame, Blue Star. Yeah, in the whole entire state of Oregon, there's not a single Dunkin' Donuts. We used to, according to Totally Normal. I guess I might have been maybe before my time. Because yeah. I'm checking the next state up just to see. And that's a negative up in Seattle as well. So, and I'm guessing if we go down to like California, I can probably guarantee it's probably there. Yep. California has Dunkin' Donuts. Let me see if they have any at the border. No, but there is good news, Will. Totally Normal and I will have an upcoming trip to an area that actually does have it. And it'll be right close by to where we'll possibly be at. So, yeah. We'll get that on the road trip. So there's good news. We'll try it and see how good, bad, and different it is. We've only had Dunkin' once, and they don't have them up here. Okay. I believe Del Taco qualifies an exemption to that rule. Their coffee is horrible. Good to know. Glazed donuts are your favorite? I remember when Krispy Kreme first opened, I did a run with a group of friends, and we went there like at 3 in the morning to get Krispy Kreme donuts. It was quite interesting. They had decent burgers before they left Toledo. I'm assuming we talk about the taco place, Del Taco. You guys have Taco Del Mar in your areas? Anybody? I don't think we only have like 2 or 3 left. We don't have that many around here like we used to. They're more popular up in Seattle, I feel like. Really miss Popeyes. We had one at the Air Force Base in Japan when we moved here. The nearest one about an hour and a half. Interesting. I don't think I've ever had Popeyes chicken. If I'm perfectly honest, I don't think I've ever had it. Got it from a little Double Del. Oh boy. Will Saints actually tried Starry. Interesting. The drink that Pepsi replaced Sierra Mist with, not bad. It's just the name of it sounds bad. I'm not gonna lie, Will. That sounds kind of like something I wouldn't want to drink. Like it came from space or something. Like it's Starry. Try it now. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Starry. They should have just called it Sorry instead of Starry. I think they would have probably gotten away with a lot. They could have probably done a lot better, like social advertisement stuff with it as well. At least I think that would be kind of something be possible. So, anybody else have any Valentine's Day stories? I think anyone's got anything to share. Anybody else have any great love with a breakfast burrito or random sandwich, random tacos? Kind of feel like everyone kind of had a little different meals and whatnot. Let's see what else is going on here in Newsland. You guys need to know about. It's even news with me. Trying to think of anything else that we are missing for the thing. We talked about benefits, talked about divorces, spouses. Talk about common law marriages and the states that have it still. Um, let's see. Oh, so this is something that I found out, which I find kind of interesting, is that is in one of the articles I was reading about the whole entire Medicare, whatever, or yeah, Social Security. This is just specifically for Social Security um, benefits in general. Is that if an individual with a disability isn't legally married, SSA can disqualify them for holding out as a married couple if the agency finds out the individuals is cohabitating with their partner and sharing living expenses. They can still lose their benefits even if they're not married. So basically, if you decide to get married, but you're not going to do it the air quote legal way, so there's no paper document, make sure you have separate checking accounts, I guess, is basically what that's saying. If they're going around looking at accounts, which they them asking for checking account stuff does and something I can verify does and has happened where they have come out of left field and be like, yeah, so you need to give us your copy of your checking account. So there's that. All right, looks like we're going back on food talk, which is fine. I just want to bring up that I just saw that little point in my notes. Just want to talk about it. You guys can comment on that, or we can talk about food. It's totally fine. Will saying, talk about the story. Do you guys have Little King Sandwich Place or White Castle? I don't know if we have White Castle. Do we? Totally normal question. Do we have that? I've got one about a guy in a wheelchair that went to his girlfriend's college to surprise her. Remember that? I mean, I think there's a video. Do we have a video of that? Where's that at? I need give me a link, sir. Man, we're gonna bring up old times. I think there's a whole video about that. That would be considered ex-girlfriend. So, good job. They're totally normal. That is a Valentine's Day thing. I just forgot. Doing our date on this coming Saturday night. Ooh, nice. Hopefully gonna be going somewhere fun, sir. You guys are big like Italian? You gotta do like the whole like typical like Valentine's thing and do like the I don't know. Like like Italian restaurant, candlelight, all that stuff. Or you guys just go to like favorite restaurant? I'm a big like Italian restaurant kind of guy on Valentine's Day. It's really sad. Like the typical like yeah, that's totally sappy on my end for sure. So does the state come and check in and see if all the food is in the fridge is labeled? Right? You gotta check for the post-its. All right, that says that's got your lady's name on it. Sorry. I feel like I don't need to move in with any possible significant others. I like my space. That's true. No, it's important to have you gotta have your space. Yeah, I get that, man. The CMS thing. Yeah, it was something with like something that Social Security does, not CMS. That they basically look at like checking accounts, and if they find you're sharing living expenses, they can basically you can lose your benefits even if you're not legally married, if you're cohabitating with their partner, basically, is what the fine print said. Same, less drama. No White Castle, okay. It's buried in an old vlog. Yeah, I think it's a really, really old vlog. You guys can look it up. Just type in Valentine's Day on Totally Normal channel. I'm sure you guys can find the video. Yes, they're looking at banking account information, the addresses. It's just different banks, also PO Box for, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing there that's being said that's yes. What Greg said in chat is that's good. Yes, yeah, I mean to do different banking confirmation and different PO boxes, yeah, for sure. Well, see, Greg, it's all about who you know, man. We talked about this earlier. Happily single, says Mike C. Yeah, and that's great, Mike. I mean, there's if you're able to be good, you don't want to have to, deal with all that, and I mean that, yeah, it's totally cool and totally understandable, man. Oh, Chris, thank you. Ah, see, reminders. Got it. Thank you, sir. We're going to steak type place. Ooh, nice. It's like a steak place where to like cook up a steak in front of you kind of thing. And then we have some da 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 breaking news. When did this get filed? Ooh, February 15th. This literally just broke today. All right. So, this is a article from Chris Stroll that has to do with the seat elevators on power wheelchairs. This is a article by the Medicare coverage database, which is showing a new proposal, which is something that would affect a lot of us. Let me find chat. And yes, we'll get into the updates of the wheelchair. Thank you for that. So here's an article link. As soon as I can find enter on my keyboard. There it is. And let's switch to desktop view without messing anything up. Okay, it looks like chat is in the middle of that again. That is absolutely not helpful for anybody, is it? There you go. That's good enough. You guys can read it. All right. I'll just do a quick little summary. So, seat elevation systems as an accessory to power wheelchairs, Group 3. This is a proposed decision memo done by the National Coverage Analysis, whatever that is. And there's an option here to submit public comment, which I think we need to start sharing the crap out of this and make this a thing. Oh, broke news. I mean, I broke news or the news link is broken? Clarify, please. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, known as CMS, is proposing that seat elevation equipment on Group 3 power wheelchair falls within the benefit category for durable medical equipment, section blah, blah, blah. The Section 1861 of the Social Security Act defines on what items are considered durable medical equipment and provides additional details on the definition, blah, blah, blah. Is proposing that the evidence is sufficient to determine that a power seat elevation equipment is reasonable and necessary for individuals using power wheelchairs when the following conditions are met. And we're going to go over these and then we're going to talk about this because there's some stuff that's not that I'm against and some of it I'm for. The conditions are the individual performs weight-bearing transfers from the power wheelchair while at home using either upper extremities or non-level uneven sitting transfer board or lower extremities to a sit and stand. Transfers may be accompanied with a caregiver or assistive equipment, sliding board, cane, crutch, walker, and the individual has undergone a specialty evaluation by a practitioner, aka doctor, who has specific training or experience in rehab evaluations, not doctor, a PT or OT, that assesses the individual's ability to safely use the seat elevation equipment at home. So you have to meet both of those criteria. So I totally understand why they said that if you're able to transfer your weight and you're able to do that, that's huge and that's great. And I applaud them for doing that for those people that have that physical ability to do that. But for those that don't and have broken news, broke news. I kind of like that humor. Thank you, Greg, for that. Where was I? I got distracted. I think this needs to qualify for not just basically people who do weight-bearing transfers. I mean, this is huge. This is going in the right direction. And those of you that have the physical ability to do that and we can get this covered and make this a part of it, absolutely, I'm 100% support. But there needs to be more than just for those that are able to transfer uneven surfaces, which makes sense. Seat elevator, you can get up and down to all this, surfaces you want to transfer to, whether you're transferring to your bed, couch, chair, countertop, I don't know, whatever works for you. Whatever you're transferring to with that seat elevator, it's kind of nice to be able to have that. But to me, it's just there's so many other needs that it meets besides transferring. You know, being able to reach into a cabinets that are up high. If you have the physical ability to reach out and grab things, um, the ability to reach up and maybe grab inside your mailbox. Maybe your mailbox is really high. You need to be able to raise up your chair to be able to get in there. I mean, there's so many important things that it could be used for besides weight bearing transfers. So, anyways, there's an article linked to it, and it talks about all the little different things and what they say. And there's all kinds of articles below about the Medicare coverage and the consent. And yeah, so there you go. If anyone wants to go down that whole rabbit hole and read that, I just think it's a little bit ridiculous that it's not actually, yeah, it's just all that is. So, let's see. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of transfers without the seat lift. I can't lift myself with my arms, and to get to my feet, I need to be in an elevated position. Exactly. I mean, it's, yeah. They're leaving things out like being able to see over things. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I transferred it to doctors say lifted to the height of the table and slid right over. Yeah, and if you could get that completely covered, great. Like on your, I don't know if it was on your chair or not, if you had to pay separately for it, but it should be something that should be covered. Like I said, I'm 100% behind this. I just think that there's so many other things besides transfers that seat elevators we use for. But I totally get it. I get it why. I understand, and they have the proper evidence to show the proof of it. Like, I'm 100% for it, but it's just, it can be used for so much more than just transfers. Just, that's my little rant about that. I think the most people would qualify under that, though, you can claim is needed for something. Yeah, I mean, I could just start using a transfer board. It's not anywhere near safe, but I could just start pulling that out. Like, there you go, using it now. Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly. White Raven, I agree with that. No, that makes sense, Orion and Greg. You gotta raise up, get to the bed height, transfer over. I mean, it should be something that should be allowed, you know? Yeah, transfers and other ADLs, yes. Or even very specific ADLs is fine. I agree with that, totally normal. I agree. This, or even if they can even say like transfers. Just add the word transfers there. I mean, no offense, but using the assistive equipment as sliding board, in my opinion, is very similar to what I would consider a transfer, which last time I checked when I'm using my Hoyer, the definition of looking and using a Hoyer is considered a transfer. So, in my opinion, it's the same thing. That's just me. Oh, and also I can actually say, for those who do not have a ceiling Hoyer and have to use a manual Hoyer, there's times that a seat elevator is needed because you need to be picked up at a higher level in order to be put onto a level at the same height, or sometimes lower. You have to be picked up like higher in your chair than lower. Because there's been times I've been picked up out of my chair that was sat so low that even with the Hoyer at maximum, like at the very top of the range the Hoyer could go, it wasn't high enough for me to transfer into the other chair because it sat too low. If I had a seat elevator, I could have raised it up and done a transfer safely. So I think there is uses for it to be considered in transfers with Hoyers, in my opinion. Yeah, getting out of a chair is a transfer. Exactly. Which, I don't know. So I'm going to submit a public comment on that. And like I said, I'm totally 100% for this for those that have the ability to do weight bearing transfers with assistance or even on their own. Like, that's huge. Like, this is a huge win, and I hope it passes through. And I mean, we can all get behind this and push this through. So it goes for that people. And then I think next round we need to really try to push it through beyond that. So, here's a little small print. CMS is seeking comments on a proposed decision. Additionally, CMS seeks specific comments on whether power seat elevation equipment on Group 2 power wheelchairs primarily and customarily serves a medical purpose and thus falls within the beneficial category of DME. So they're also looking into for Group 2 power wheelchairs as well. Just wanted to add that little snippet in there in case somebody was wanting to know. I feel like there's many ways to disclaim you need it under their terms. Yeah, I agree with that. Since my TB3 seat is wider than the base, I, I mean, yeah, you can get to the close to the bed, zero gap. Yeah, full disclosure, prior to 2017, there was like very limited Hoyer use, or actually no, sorry, 2013. I would transfer on my own, using like a transfer board. So doing that same thing, I did get rid of that little gap, scoot yourself over, toss yourself on bed, great. But that was a long time ago. I was able to do that. Can't do that now, unfortunately. Oh, I just realized we're still on my screen. I'm over here just like chatting away. Link in chat again, please. Yes, sir. Coming right up. Let me, you guys should have told me I was still on my desktop. That's hilarious. I'm just like over here, talking about it. Incoming link. All right. And I think while we should also do our weekly YouTube advertisement. You guys know which one I'm talking about, right? Let's see. Still think we have it set up. Oh, wow. I just realized I just totally mistyped that. I'm not going to tell you what I mistyped. I was trying to type the word links. And let's just say that was not spelled correctly. And that would have been a hilarious thing in chat. So I'm glad I was looking at that before I actually hit enter. For all your joystick needs, including 3D printed and all kinds of colors, visit whiteravenmobility.com. And then, yeah, what should I do for broken wheelchairs? Is your wheelchair broken? We have the website for you. brokenwheelchairs.com. That's really terrible. That's like the most horrible advertisement ever. But there you go, free ads. I mean, not horrible to advertise, but horrible as far as like my voiceover. It's pretty terrible. I would totally fire me from that. I'm just saying. But it's always good to throw some links in there. Not to sound gross or anything, but one tool that I find helpful is your Bethia. Yeah, I don't know if you spelled that right at all either. I don't know what that is. Do we have an alternative? Trying to think what that could be spelled. Bethia. Is it like a device? Oh, your bidet? Is that what you're talking about, Will? Ah, gotcha. Yeah, okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, full disclosure, never used one, so don't know anything about it. But if it's something that's comfortable and it works great for you, it's not gross at all, man. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and if it's something that works, it works. Yeah, I know nothing about them. I know they got all kinds of crazy ones though, man. They got like ones that are like heated, like blow dry, like warm water. Like I've heard all kinds of stuff. So, um, everyone needs a washlet. So true, White Raven. So true. Everyone needs a washlet. I agree. Yeah, I don't really know anything about it, and like I said, if something that works. I do know that they have come down in price. They're not super expensive. Um, I mean, okay, all right. I have to show you guys this thing. I know you're not supposed to click on Google Ads, but I had to because it was really funny, and I have to share this ad for it to you guys. You guys ready? Tushy, more bang for your butt. Enter your email, save 10% off your first order, get access to exclusive deals. Oh my god. Oh, it just went downhill real quick on the stream. We just lost like 5 subscribers. They're like, we're out. The guy's got bodegas on stream. Quick. All right, you got the Tushy Classic, the Tushy Spa, and the Tushy Ace electric bidet seat. I don't think the Ace is going to quite do it for me at all, but you know, let's take a look at the old let's look at the old classic. Oh, best of 2022 CNN underscored. So wait, it says it was underscored. So what, did they like not get a good score? And look, available colors: platinum knob, bronze knob, gunmetal. Like you want to change up the wood knob? Oh man. I mean, hey, interesting. Oh, it's got new antibacterial bamboo. Okay. Do like a video? Like, is there anything that how this thing works? Oh, there is a video. Oh. Okay. There you go. This thing is that on stream. Yeah, exactly. They're just changing the knob. I think it's like, and they're like showing like the most popular knob. Oh, and then don't forget limited edition. Is that more? Did the price change? No. They're all the same. But maybe you get White Raven to print you your own custom 3D printed bidet knob. Coming soon. Here's your next project, White Raven. Knobs 3D printed for the Tushy Classic. Oh. I will just for fun, in case I mean I think it's probably a really great product. Here's the here's the link to that. You're welcome. And I should reach out to them, see if they do a sponsor. I think I would do some pretty good ads maybe for them on that one. Oh man, that's great. Gotta love Japanese washlets. Bidet knobs. I'm telling you, I go on Etsy right now. I guarantee you there's a whole market for people doing bidet. Actually, just for that, I'm going to go on Etsy and I'm going to look at bidet knobs. I actually want to see if that's actually a thing. I was actually kind of being a little bit funny with that one. But there's actually bidet knobs for sale. I think I totally have found White Raven's new thing. Because nobody wants those, you know. There's a few. There's a bidet knob replacement upgrade kit for $16.95. There's a couple 3D printed homemade bidets that I'd be a little bit hold on. I have to pull this open in a different browser in case I get a trying to log in pop-up, because it's Etsy and Etsy does that. But we have to, this has got to be shared. Would you consider medical equipment? It's obviously something insurance doesn't pay for. I mean, yeah, I think it could be considered medical equipment. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, okay, replacement knob upgrade kit, $16.95. Bidet attachment, 3D printed. Minimalist. Actually looks very similar to the one that we were just looking at, to be honest. Like they copied the design. Couple of replacement knobs. Oh, I just like, this is the one that I had to share because it's just like the way they titled it. Bidet nozzle toilet cleaning butt suite or suit. I'm like, wait, what? But I mean, some of these are actually really serious stuff. There's only one guy that did replacement knob, so there you go, White Raven. It's a whole corner on the market. I don't see anybody else doing knobs. Just the one guy who's probably only doing it for one particular brand. Yeah, it says knob upgrade kit, so there you go. You're welcome for that. I didn't think I'd be sharing, looking at bidet knobs on Etsy, middle of a live stream, but hey, gotta change it up here. We gotta make things interesting. Um, let's see. I don't know about 3D printed bidets. I'm just saying, it seems to be a market for it. We need a jet wash bidet that, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, for some of those like the ADA toilets are sometimes elongated, different sizes and stuff. I think some insurance should be convinced. Yeah, and honestly, if somebody has like a major, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would really could help with like infections, like other things could be kept down if, you know, if somebody's able to transfer the toilet themselves, but maybe they have a hard time doing, clean up on aisle 5 to be able to have a bidet that can help them do that to keep things clean. Totally possible. Um, those are standard bowl shapes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the oblong, like ADA style toilets. Yeah. Do they just fit under the seat cover? No, it looks like they're just like slid underneath the seat cover. That's all they do. It was kind of bolted in. It is considered an upgrade. Hold on. I have a few messages here from White Raven. We got some fanciness going on here. Wow, that is a that's a serious stream. Let's see, I got another. Let's wash with the Toto washlet. I mean, that's like some serious power. Is that with gravity or without? Like that's I just thought I'd ask about that. That's just like, okay. And this is like oh, it's fancy. It's got a wand door, seamlessly clean rinse, self-cleaning wand, quick release, optimized wand angle. Is it heated? That's what I want to know. Oh, wow. Oh, some of these actually have air dryers, air temperature control. Wow. I'm assuming like if we look at the very expensive one. I'm just curious. Ooh, $2,000. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think there's a need. So let's see. Those are spit underneath. Yes, we talked about that. I don't know heated water yet. We talked about that. I have stiff scissor printer, and there were times that if I could do is reach. Yeah, dude, totally understandable. Like I think these things have a definite place in the medical field, and I think the pricing needs to come down. Like this is something that I feel like in order for it to be considered by our insurances and stuff like that, pricing on that's got to come down. I know this is like top of the line, washlet, special e-water, but even like some of the basic ones, the pricing still is way too high. Mine, there's this toilet seat. They obviously have some very expensive ones. Yeah, you can get like I said, one just goes on the toilet seat, not the whole like replacement lid and everything. They have some that close. Interesting. They also in Japan they have some to play sounds. That would be kind of fun with the sounds. How much is toilet paper now? I don't know. I feel like we should maybe like I should have done like a bot that would go across the internet and monitor toilet paper pricing and do it on a chart just because I like doing charts and doing data research like that. I think it'd be kind of funny. I have no idea what the price is. It kind of depends, I guess, where you're buying. Let's look. Let's see. 4.8 cents each. And that is the Cottonelle Ultra Comfort Mega Rolls for a 12 pack. So anywhere from like 0.7 cents to like 4 cents, 4.8 cents, dollar 8 each, equal to Northern. Good Lord. There you go. Kind of a whole range. These guys want to know. Yeah, return on investment pay. Well, would you be buying Cottonelle or Angelsoft stock or Scott? Like, what brand would you be buying stock wise? That's what I want to know. I think I'd have to go with Cottonelle because they also make flushable wipes. Just saying. How much is toilet paper? That's a good one. Thank you for that. Wow, we had a really good stream today, though, guys. This has been great. I'm glad that everything has worked out and I've been able to, come back. I know last week was kind of a little crazy, so I'm glad that everything has worked itself out and I'm back this week. Charlotte there's a mega roll that doesn't actually come in a packet. It comes in a box. Has a stand. Supposed to last you, I believe, a month. Really? A mega roll. Okay, now we gotta look at the Charmin mega roll. I'm curious. Way to go. Way to go, Will. Give you a hard time, dude. Charmin. See, these are the kind of things I would have never known about. I don't even know how we even got here. Well, oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah. Free shipping. This is great. This is totally, it's real. I found the product. Will is not kidding, man. Will knows what's up. All right, let's make this full screen for this advertisement. This is great. Introducing the Charmin Forever Roll. Knock up to 1 month before changing your roll. Brushed stainless steel roll holder included. Rolls in 12-inch diameter roll and weighs 12 pounds. Free delivery right to your doorstep. Clog safe and septic safe. Man, my dog would have a heyday with this. Yeah, we'd be rolling now. Oh, I love the ratings and reviews. I wonder if these get updated. Like over here on the right and left. That would be hilarious. Like to get like ones that are like 2 stars up there. Oh man, look at this. People write a thing. And then Charmin's got a Charmin team could respond. Interesting. All right. Should we go with the price? Should we like start taking like in chat? What do you guys think price is? No, not 12 pounds, 2 pounds. Sorry, 12 inches, 2 pounds. If I said 12, sorry. 12-inch roll, 2 pounds. No, we honestly had no idea. Oh, nope, no thank you. All right. I mean, so the starter kit, $39.99, because you're paying for the aluminum, heavy duty holder, which maybe that could be 3D printed, White Raven. Just throwing it out there. And then you got the Forever Roll refill kit for $29.99. Hey, free shipping. And Charmin promise they're committed to bring you a better bathroom experience. Oh man, this is yeah, that's great. I didn't think I'd ever be throwing that on a live stream. Thank you for that, Will. That's amazing. That's a good product. I mean, it's probably cost effective. Like, I wonder what that is like per. So if it's 29, so it's what, $10 a roll? 12 inches. See, it doesn't tell you how many feet it is. So it's really hard for me to accurately determine, like, yeah, if it would be like cost effective. Somebody will have to do a cost analysis on that. It's not something I think I'd have time to do, but that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Will. That made the day, yo. That was great. That's the thing I love about chat. You guys are amazing, always coming and finding new things. Oh, I remember to also somebody asked early on about I guess I should get caught up here on chat. I think I'm behind. Hold on, I lost my chat window. That's why I'm like not paying attention to chat. A month or longer. That'd be interesting. Sounds like an Alaska thing. Yeah. America's superiority complex about inferior cleaning boggles the mind. I agree, Chris. That's a good statement, sir. Uh, it keeps pulling studs out of the wall. Yeah, no, 2 pounds, not 12, but I can see how you could think that. That's a new one on me. Need a spreadsheet. For sure. Like, I think we need to make a spreadsheet on that and figure that out. I always think it's funny when UPS shows up at my house. Oh, my toilet paper's here. That's great, Will. I mean, hey, dude, if it's cost effective and it works, I'd really want to compare that though to like Costco, like toilet paper rolls, getting it from there versus that. Let's see, like, what's the price comparison? At least it's free shipping. So, actually, totally normal. If you're still in chat, like, we need to order one of those rolls and attach it to a drone and get to how many feet it is. I'm just saying. I mean, high altitude balloon. I guess we can do the balloon things. That's kind of funny right now, but I know you got drones, so I'm just throwing that out there for a summer project. It'd be a pretty popular video because I guarantee a lot of people don't know about that toilet paper roll. I think, Will, if you ever decide to do YouTube videos for any reason, you should reach out to them and see if they'll like give you some for free for a review. The U.S. is playing balloons tower defense with TP hanging from it. That would be great. Yeah, not a good time to be up in a hot air balloon. That's for sure. Very, very true. I'm excited for people to come back and watch this video. I have a feeling, like I said, based on my way I made the thumbnail look in the beginning, that there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be thinking that this video has to do with like dating and stuff like that. So it's gonna be great if they make it all the way to the end of the stream and see this. So if you made it all the way to the end of the stream, congratulations. You have seen it all today. You have checked the box. Pronouncing about it is at least ones I got in the box contains the 2 rules. That's actually just 2 rules per box. Oh, okay. Because that one said it was 3 rules, Will, online for $29.99. Tucker got to the video dropping TP from a power glider once. Interesting. I guess I guarantee there's probably some YouTuber out there that did like the mega roll and like did a whole video on it, maybe. Or like attaching the mega roll to the back of a power chair and going down street, see how long it is. That'd be kind of fun. I'm just saying, some different ideas out there. I might have to, maybe I'll have to. Too bad you can't just buy the roll by itself without the stand. Just for like experiments, for like $10 one roll. If you get $10 free shipping on a roll like that, you could have so much fun. I think they would sell a lot more if they did that. They'd probably sell a lot more to teenagers. They're gonna go TP in houses, but that's a whole different conversation for a different time. Power paraglider, parachute with a fan on your back, whatever you call it. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, like the powered glider doodad thing. Yeah. Yeah, the news about a guy in a wheelchair with TP behind would be funny. I could just totally see the news article about that man arrested for littering 500 feet of toilet paper behind his wheelchair. uh, that's just terrible, but funny. Yeah, I could totally see that. I mean, hey, we got to make headlines, you know? It's that's what we got to do, make the headlines, and we'll do it. That's totally fine. Well, I think we're gonna probably start winding down the stream here tonight, uh, just because it's getting close to that time, and I get some other stuff done here before bedtime. Florida man, we went right to Florida man. Oh, okay. That's probably actually both of you guys are right. That's probably true. 100% Florida. But yeah, it was a really good stream today. I'm kind of glad that you guys were all here, and appreciate each and every one of you. And remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Let's see what I told you. I was like, when I was like a little, I did take apart videos and I see if I could wrap them around the entire block behind my bicycle. Oh, you took apart the VHS tapes. Yeah, I mean, some of those reels were crazy long. Like, you didn't realize how long some of those things were. So, yeah, and like I said, thank you all for being here. Like, this has been awesome. It's been a great Wednesday. I'm glad that I was able to get in a whole stream today, and look forward to the one next week. Don't really know what that's going to be about, but things kind of seem to be happening where things are falling into my lap for stories and things to talk about right away. We can blame Valentine's Day on this one. That's what we'll blame it on. So, anyways, everyone have a good night, and stay warm and totally normal. I hope the your water stays toasty, sir. Doesn't freeze overnight, and I'll see most of you, or hopefully all of you, on Totally Normal stream tomorrow at sometime in the afternoon. So have a wonderful evening, and thank you again. Like, share, subscribe, and remember, if Ry can do it, so can you. All right, guys, have a good night. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. All right, seriously though. Like, where's my end screen? I can't find it. Okay, seriously, I got it. All right, okay. See you guys.